And I'm just like, they're focusing on the wrong person. They have the wrong person. In my head, I'm convinced you guys are just, that you had the wrong person. I wanted to think that he was good. Um,
Before we get ahead of that, what is the conversation like between you two when you're in the car? Because y'all were in there for a good while we were trying to figure things out at your apartment complex or your condo. What's the conversation like inside that car?
um,
Folks, let me just take a pause. Someone asked me in the chat, why do I feel that Jennifer Soto has not been charged yet? And the fact that I believe at some point she will be charged. And I have mentioned this numerous times on my show. They have two ridiculously strong cases against Stephan Stearns. The 60 images on the, the 60 felonies based on 1,700 images they found on his phone. He'll get convicted of that, and he get life in prison for that. More importantly is the capital murder case for the death of Madeline Soto. I believe he will get convicted of that also, and he will get the death penalty. Now, there is no statute of limitations for murder. So they can absolutely charge Jennifer Soto after these two cases are over with. And that could be their game plan because there's no rush to bring her in. They could use her as a witness right now against Stephan Stearns. But if they charge her right now, that basically goes out the window. So those are my feelings. And I really feel strongly that at some point she will be arrested and she will be charged.
I'm trying to think back to what exactly we were talking about. I know I remember late in the eve, like when you guys let us know we couldn't come back, and I called his dad, or we called his dad. Um, I started saying to him, like, I think they're focusing in on you. Like, we need to call your dad, and I think we need to get you a lawyer. Um, I feel like they're focusing on the wrong person. And he kept saying the same thing. He kept repeating what I was repeating. That they're focusing on the wrong person. They're wasting time there.
So, guys, this is one of the most important things, right? So they're focusing in on Stephan Stearns, which if you're a cop, you're a detective, it's a no-brainer. He's the guy. He screams, I am the suspect. I am the killer. Right away, he screams that out based on all his actions, based on what they know that he's lied about. Because innocent people don't need to lie, but guilty people do need to lie. At this point, I don't know. They know at this point, I believe, that they had, if they had the images of Madeline in the front seat of the car dead. At what point was that, right? That same day, they had the images of him transferring her body in the hotel parking lot, transferring her body from the front seat into the trunk. So I don't know exactly the time frame when they had that in order, but if they had this now, they're just waiting. And again, what came first, they of course wanted to find the body. But what came first and what made this investigation easier for them, and not easy, but easier, was they found all these images on his phone. Now there was no rush to charge him with the murder because they had a case against him that could put him in prison for life. Now let's cross our T's and dot our I's and do everything we possible to nail this guy to the wall. And that's what they were doing. And that's what these detectives were doing here.
Um,
How did he feel when you said he needs a lawyer?
he didn't believe me. Like, when I told him, like, don't you see forensics is closing down the house? They fucking know something, or there's something, like, they know something. Something's happening. They wouldn't be locking down the house this way if they didn't have suspicions of something. But I wasn't thinking, I don't know why I wasn't thinking him. Like, I was just like, no, they've got the wrong guy. He just kept saying that they have the wrong guy, that they're focusing on the wrong person and that we're wasting time